going to review some op art with you. So how to do op art. The first thing we are going to do is pick a shape. So I am going to pick a shape. I am going to pick a heart. I'm going to draw a nice large shape, taking up as much space as I can on my square. After I pick a shape, you need to pick the type of line that's going to go over the entire surface. So in this case, I'm going to pick this guy here. So from one point of my heart all the way to the edge of my paper. So this orange paper would be your paper. And notice how I'm not doing a bunch of little lines. I'm not going. That would be very difficult to color. I'm making sure that they're almost, 2 fingers apart. So what I'm going to do is I need to start marking the areas I'm going to color in. So how that's going to work is it's no longer the heart shape and the lines that I drew, okay? You have to look at each new shape. So a shape is when a dot goes for a walk, it turns into a line. When that line touches itself, it now becomes a shape. So think of it like a checkerboard. Not going to color this in. I'm going to color this in. Not going to color this in. So no, yes, no. And then I'm going to come down. Since that's a no, this is a yes, no, yes. But you see how this whole thing is one shape. No, yes, no, okay? So just fill in those areas. Once you have them filled in, you can go back and begin to color. The reason why I ask you to mark them first is it's easier to fix it with a dot or an X versus trying to fix it when you have already colored it in. Notice I'm only coloring one color. Just use one color. So that's one example. Once again, start with a shape. Start with a shape. So in this case, I'm going to do a large oval. After you have your shape, you need to pick what type of line is going to go all the way across. This time I'm going to use some wavy lines. Notice once again how I didn't do 1,000 wavy lines across. I just did a few. Now you need to go through and mark every other shape. Yes, no, yes. That's yes, no, yes, no. Then you color. So I'm going to show you one more example. At this point, you should pretty much have how to do op art down. This one's going to be a little bit more difficult. So this is a challenge. You can do this one if you'd like. So I'm going to just use a circle. Keep it simple. So I have my circle. Then we're going to pick the type of line. For this one, I'm going to use this last one. So that means you're going to go straight across. It's going to be straight lines. Do not go through your shape though. So I have my straight lines. Now what you're going to do is you are going to add the lines inside the shape. But do you see how my circle is round? You are going to pretend that you're running your hand across the table and then you hit that shape. Your hand's going to come up and go around. So you're actually going to give it a bump. Give it a bump. Give it a bump. Okay? This will help it look a little bit more three-dimensional. Okay. Then what you're going to do is the same thing. You're going to color every other one in. So just as a review, pick a shape, pick a type of line, make sure you're spacing those lines out when you're drawing them, mark which areas you're going to color, then you go through and color them. I want to show you one last thing. So this is going to be a close-up. If you have a circle and your line comes across to like this, you would color this area in. You would not color this area in. But this, don't see this anymore as a square and a circle. This is now a shape, and this is now a shape. So you're not seeing it as a whole, you're seeing it as individual sections. So if you color this in, you're not gonna color this in, but you have to color this in. So yes, no, yes. Can someone tell me what my next step is? What am I going to color and what am I not going to color? Yes, no, yes, no, yes. Okay, now my second line. What do I do on my first box? Do I color it or do I leave it? Because I colored this one, yes, no. These little areas would be yeses. No. Big area would be yes, no. Make sure you're not seeing the whole picture, but you're breaking it down into individual shapes. Remember, shapes aren't always square, circle, triangle, rectangle, diamond. Shapes can also be organic shapes. Happy op-arting.